All right, we are live. We'll see if anybody comes on to say hello. What do you think? Yeah?
This is Cupcake.
Yeah, that's Cupcake. Why is the bear's name Cupcake?
Because he has a cupcake in her hand.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious name, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Aptly named bear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my mama.
Yeah, this is your mom. Can you remind everybody who you are?
Lillian.
Lillian, yeah. And what are we going to do?
Story time.
Story time! We're going to have story time! Woohoo! And today we're continuing to read about Moses and the people of Israel and their time in the wilderness and how they got the 10 Commandments. So that's what we're going to read about. Are you ready to read? Yeah? Okay. So this story is called 10 Ways to be Perfect.
In my Bible, it's called 10 Commandments.
Yeah, this Bible has some different story names. That's okay. So there they all were. Grannies, granddads, babies, uncles, aunts, children, moms, and dads. Out there in the middle of the desert. They had blisters from all the walking. They were hungry and thirsty and much, much too hot. We don't like it, they said. It stinks. And so did they, for that matter, because no one had taken a bath in weeks. Now remember, because this is something they'd forgotten, God had done amazing things for his people. He'd hidden them inside a cloud. He'd moved the sea. He'd set them free. But God's people still weren't happy. They didn't care about being free. Wasn't it better when they were slaves? At least they'd had lots of nice food to eat. God doesn't want us to be happy, they said. It was the same lie that Adam and Eve had heard all those years before. God has brought us out here to kill us. God doesn't love us. But they didn't know God very well, did they? Every day of their journey, God kept on showing his people how well he would look after them if they would trust him and obey him. When they were hungry, God made the sky rain with food, bread coming down from heaven. Wouldn't that be cool? What is it? They asked each other. They didn't know, so they called it, What is it? Which, of course, is a very good name for something when you don't know what it is. When they were thirsty and started quarreling, God made water flow from a rock. Moses called that place Quarreling, because that seemed like a good name too. And still, God's children didn't trust him or do what he said. They thought they could do a better job of looking after themselves and making themselves happy. But God knew there was no such thing as happiness without him. So God led them to a tall mountain. God wanted to talk to his people and show them what he was like. He wanted to help them know him better and tell them about the special land he was going to give them. The whole earth belongs to me, God said, but I have chosen you. You are my special family. I want you to live in a way that shows everyone else what I'm like, so they can know me too. God called Moses up the mountain. The great mountain shook. A thick cloud fell. Thunder roared. Lightning crackled. And God gave Moses 10 rules called commandments. I want you to love me more than anything else in all the world, and know that I love you too, God told them. That's the most important thing of all. God gave them other rules, like don't make yourselves pretend gods, don't kill people or steal or lie. The rules showed God's people how to live and how to be close to him and how to be happy. They showed how life worked best. God promises to always look after you, Moses said. Will you love him and keep these rules? We can do it. Yes, we promise. But they were wrong. They couldn't do it. No matter how hard they tried, they could never keep God's rules all the time. God knew they couldn't, and he wanted them to know it too. Only one person could keep all the rules, and many years later, God would send him to stand in their place and be perfect for them. Because the rules couldn't save them, only God could save them. And isn't that the truth? Are you perfect? No. Is mommy perfect? No. Can anybody be perfect? Who? Who can be perfect? God! Jesus was perfect. Yeah, and the rules, the 10 Commandments, they help to show us ways that we can love God, but do we always love God perfectly? No. Sometimes we make mistakes. But God is always faithful to forgive us, and that's why he sent Jesus. And we're going to continue tomorrow reading more stories. And you know what? The more stories we read, the closer and closer we're getting to finding out God's rescue plan and the person that he was going to send to be perfect for us. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited to get to the Christmas story? Yeah, it's not Christmas, but we can read the Christmas story anytime, can't we? Yeah, that's for sure. All right.
Because that's when they sent Jesus.
Yeah, you're excited to learn more about Jesus?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us if you're watching, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We will be here reading another story as we get closer and closer to finding out more about that God's rescue plan that the Bible's been talking about. So, from us to you, from couch to couch, or wherever you find yourself right now in the midst of all this craziness, we want you to know that we love you and we're thinking about you, and we love to read you stories, don't we, Lillian? All right, can you show Cupcake Bear and we'll say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Lillian says goodbye and Cupcake Bear says goodbye. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow at 1. Have a good one.